Pasala again, and today we are going to share May and June month's messages. And this message title goes like this: Do not be ignorant of Satan. It is very important for the God's children to know about the Satan, how the Satan attacks the God's servant, how the Satan destroying the God's children families. So we should not be ignorant of the Satan. If you go through the scripture here, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, it says, we are not ignorant of Satan's schemes. Here the Saint Paul, in his life experience, he's mentioning this word because he faced a lot of problems, a lot of troubles through this Satan and satanic people. So that is the reason he's saying we are not ignorant of the Satan's schemes. Nowadays a lot of God's servants, they're failing in their ministries. A lot of God's children, they're failing in their families because they are not knowing the satanic schemes against their mission, against their ministry. Now we can see, if you see the computer made for the good things, but devil and the evil people using this for the evil things. You can say the computer is the good and the bad and the ugly. The purpose of making the computer is to do good for the people, but the Satan is using for the evil things through the computer. Recently, my email is captured by the hackers. I feel sorry about them. Who are these hackers? Most of these hackers are the nominal Christians, are the namely Christians. They are from Christian families, but they are not Christians. They are in the hands of the Satan, doing trouble to the people and doing evil to the people. They can use their knowledge for the good purpose, but they are using their knowledge for the evil purpose. So I say to all of my friends, do not be ignorant of the hackers. Who are these hackers? They are the children of Satan. So we must know the evil deeds. We must know all the Satan attacks. We'll see certain things here in detail. Number one, we see satanic teachings and misleadings. Satanic teachings and misleadings. Now, a lot of satanic teachings are happening in this world. You see, if you see here, Genesis chapter 3, verse 4 says, Satan is telling to them, we shall not surely die. God said, if you eat the fruit, you will die. But Satan is telling them, you will not die. That is the evil teaching. They accepted the evil teaching. They have not accepted the God's teaching. A lot of evil teaching is going in the churches nowadays. Even the so-called big missionaries. It's a healing campaign. Never Jesus invited the people for healing. The mission of Jesus is the salvation. All the way from the heaven, Jesus came to the face of the earth to save the sinner, not heal the sick. Nowadays we will see a lot of big campaigns, healing campaigns. If anybody brings 100%, triple person there, can this man heal him? No, he can't do that. In the days of Elijah, only Naaman was healed, the leper Naaman was healed. Healing must have a purpose. It is not the duty of the God to heal the people. It's not his mission. The mission of Jesus is save the sinners. So a lot of false missions are going on, false teachings. And it's some people, they're preaching on the prosperity. Buy 3 CDs of us, you will get riches. You will prosper. No, dear brothers, it's a false teaching. If you see the rich man and Lazarus story, that Jesus said, the Lazarus is a believer. When the man dies, angels came to take him to the heaven. But such a great man, that a great believer, prayed for the healing. as he knows this body will go to the dust very soon. Dear brothers and sisters, a lot of evil teachings are going around the globe nowadays. People are attracting by the evil teachings. Beware of the evil teachings. And if you go to the another thing, if you see Matthew chapter 7, 15, 16, 17 verse says, watch out for false prophets. Nowadays, false prophets raised around the globe. During my stay in America, I gone through one prophet. He's claiming himself end-time prophet. Dear brothers and sisters, now we are in the age that the prophecies are fulfilling. We don't need a new prophet. We don't need an end-time prophet. Prophecies already given for the end times. They are taking place. Now we are looking forward to see the fulfillment of the prophets. We don't need a prophet in this end time. When I gone through that prophet's life, he had a big campus. He kept some people there. Hundreds of acres land. He's doing so much evil there. He's doing so much evil there. But he's claiming himself as the prophet of the end time. Be careful about these false prophets. If you see another thing, false spirits. If you go through the 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 says, do not believe every spirit. Do not believe every spirit. The light of angel is coming now, misleading the people, misleading the churches. Be careful what spirit is leading you. If you go to the another point, the second point, nature of Satan. We must know the nature of Satan, what kind of person he is. He got one nature. What is that nature? If you go through the John chapter 8 verse 44, he's the leader. He's the leader. He's the father for the evil. He's the father for the evil. The same verse, John 8:44, you see there, he's a murderer. He's a murderer. He's killing the people. He's killing the believers. He's killing the faith of the believers. He's a murderer. If you go to the third point there, he's the liar. He's a liar. Lie is a sign of Satan. Nowadays, lot of lies, lot of people, they speak with the lies. You go to the Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8 says, all the liars will fall in the fire, that is a second death. He's a liar. If you go to the another point in there, he destroys God's people. The nature of Satan, number 4, he destroys the God's children. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 2 and 3 says, corrupt your mind to steer away from the Christ. Corrupt the minds of the people to go away from the Christ. Nowadays, a lot of people, during my moving around the globe, a lot of people are saying they're not going to church. A lot of Christian countries, they're claiming themselves, we are no more Christian countries. What a sad part. Satan is destroying the God's children. Now the Christian countries claiming themselves, they're not Christian anymore. So stealing the God's people and leading, destroying the God's children. This is the fourth character of the Satan. Number 5, blinding the eyes. Blinding the eyes. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 3-4 verses says, Satan will hide the gospel from their minds. Satan is making blindness to the people, not to see the Jesus, not to listen the gospel. Blinding their eyes. Now a lot of countries around the globe, they're living in the darkness. They're not worshipping the Creator. Instead of worshipping the Creator, they're worshipping the creation. They're worshipping the animals. They're worshipping the trees. They're worshipping the sun. They're worshipping the moon. They're not worshipping the Creator. They're worshipping the creation. For such people, in Romans 1st chapter, St. Paul said, God left them to do the ugly things. So Satan is blinding the eyes of the people. So dear brothers and sisters, do not be ignorant of Satan. Satan is destroying the Christian families. Satan is destroying the churches, missionaries, missions now. How the Satan is destroying us? Satan is entering into our family, using husband to destroy the family, using the wife to destroy the family. Either both wife and husband is good, that Satan is using the children to destroy the families. Dear brothers and sisters, if you see here, the third point, God uses a Satan. It's not that God uses a Satan to destroy the children of the God, but how the Satan is using. If you go to the Job chapter 1, 8 to 12 verse, there the Satan is complaining about the great servant of God, Job. And God said, you see my servant, how faithful he is. And Satan is saying, you gave riches to him. Remove everything, then you will see, he will stand for your Lord. So, Job stood for the God. Dear brothers and sisters, you should stand like Job to refine the saints. God uses Satan to refine the saints. And go to another point in there, to discipline those in the church. The church needs the discipline. You see, in the 12 apostles, Satan entered into the Judas. Likewise, among 12, one Judas is there. Likewise in the churches, I can say if you have 120 people, you have 12 Judas in the church. Because Satan is using some people to destroy the mission, destroy the church. So do not be ignorant of the Satan and certain people in the church. And the last point is to further purify obedient believers. And God is using this Satan to purify obedient believers. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, 7 to 10 verses say, a stinge like an angel of Satan kept in our bodies. Stinges. St. Paul is not mentioning it's a real stinge. The people, sometimes the wife becomes a sting to destroy the house, sometimes husband, sometimes the children. Dear brothers and sisters, I'm sharing this word with my personal experience. Do not be ignorant of Satan. Nowadays, you should be very careful in the ministry. The namely Christians are spoiling the missions. If you speak truth, if you proclaim the gospel, nobody cooperates you, nobody encourages you. False prophets and false preachers are getting encouragement. The reason, you see the temptations of Jesus. The third temptation, the Satan is asking Jesus, "What unto me? I'll give the riches of the world." So the riches of the world in the hands of Satan. So nowadays, a lot of people, because of their troubles, are to build their kingdoms on the face of the earth and to do something in their names and to come up in the worldly way. They are allowing the Satans in their life. They are ignorant. They are ignorant about Satan. Dear brothers and sisters, do not be ignorant of the Satan. Be with the Lord. Have the Spirit of the Lord. Spend time in the prayer. Meditate the Word of God. Walk with God. Let the Lord lead you. Let the Lord lead you. Do not be ignorant of Satan. May God bless you with His Word. And beware in the Spirit of God to spread this gospel around the globe. We love you. We love you.